Hello, Magi, and welcome back to another episode of Top 10. This time we're going to be talking about a specific crew. The last time we did this one, it was about the PCB crew, so I'm sure you guys can guess what the next team is. The incident was such a big deal that even Yuka had to get involved. And she's not one to join in incidents unless the situation is dire. So yeah, these girls mean business, somewhat. So without further ado, let's begin the top 10 Imperishable Night Touhou pictures.
Number 10.
So during the events of Imperishable, it was nighttime. I think the title itself gives it away. But it was a night that never ended, plus the fake moon deal. Although the yokais thought something fishy was going on, the humans didn't notice it and were mostly sleeping. As they should be. Well, if the incident had started like this, I'm sure a lot more people would have jumped in. It's one thing to start an incident, even if it could be life-threatening. But the moment you start to interrupt one's sleep, motherfuckers better watch out. Kyoko, Mistia, and apparently Nue, who I didn't realize until reading the comments, were jamming out. Now in Symposium, we learned that Byakuren wasn't a big fan of this musical duo, and I can see why. If you're playing in the daytime, fine, whatever, go wild. But when it's sleep time, it's bloody sleep time. Or else Miss Monk here's gonna lay the smackdown on you fools.
Number 9.
Now if the Inaba series and fandom has told me anything, Tewi is quite the trickster, alright. Now it's one thing to be causing trouble for people here and there, but when you're constantly doing it to no end, there's their breaking point, and when given a chance, they're gonna get a nice dish of revenge. Now I don't know why Tewi's in this position. Perhaps she tripped and sprained something, or she could be scoping out the ground to see if it's a good place to dig a hole. Regardless of the circumstances, it appears Raisin is going in for the kill shot. Again, I can't blame her for doing so. Tewi's actions certainly warrant this punishment. If it were me, I would have grabbed the shovel and used it on the bloody Earth Rabbit's ass. But hey, magic bullets still work.
Number 8.
I was just talking about Tewi and how her pranking got her into a very soon-to-be painful situation. I'm sure you're not surprised at this point that Tewi's shenanigans got her into deep waters. Even more so than with Raisin, if you could believe it or not. It's one thing to piss off people you live with as they have a higher chance to tolerate the pranks and maybe let you go. But Yuka? Oh motherfucker, the soil's going to be eating well tonight. I mean, the situation is so fucked that even Tewi knows it as well. If the shivering and tears were any indication, Tewi may have lived for over 1,000 years and may be one of the luckiest creatures of all, but it would appear no amount of luck is gonna save her once Yuka gets out of that. Although sunflower panties, Yuka sure loves her flowers.
Number 7.
This next picture, I ain't too sure what's going on. You could say that's how I view Touhou in general. I don't understand what the fuck is going on half the time. But regardless of my confusion, it's probably best I just show the picture. From the picture, it appears that most of the Imperishable crew are simply walking/running away. Moku is resting on a transformed cane, Kage being dragged across the ground. Oh man, the rug burn is gonna be super real after they're done. Raisin following behind them and Tewi's, doing her thing. At the very least, she's not pranking people, so that's a good thing. Although I don't know how I would feel if I started seeing Tewi walking with her ears. I swear I thought the whole jacked up ear thing was a Lunarian thing, but it looks like it wasn't the case. Any rabbits, Earth or Moon, can do some crazy shit. Either way, wherever they're going, hopefully it's all good. I'd hope.
Number 6.
When it comes to aliens, so many urban legends and myths have been created by it, one could easily have a channel dedicated to it. I bet there's one on YouTube right now. Anyway, the usual description for aliens are little green or gray men, big ass head with equally big eyes, a circular disc as their ship, and they love to probe humans for experimentation. A lot of crazy shit. Personally, I'm not gonna say life beings on other planets is impossible. If we can exist, surely some random other beings could. That's my take on it. Let me show you these aliens in action. It was going very normal as a UFO is concerned. That is until the roles were switched, that is. Now I'm conflicted by it. If you heard of UFOs before, I'm sure you recall stories of mutilated cattle before. Well, in Gensokyo's, cows don't get beamed, they beam you. That's probably more terrifying than aliens in all honesty.
Number 5.
As you know, Keine is the history teacher in the human village. I want to say she's a great teacher, but there's no other teacher character to compare her with, aside from those stock characters in Forbidden. So yeah, she's the best. Regardless of her teaching skills, the one thing we do know about Keine is that she's not fully human. Being a rare Hakutaku, she's given some nice powers, like the ability to eat history. Sounds tasty, I'd imagine. While it's not been stated before, it appears that this power of Keine has its downsides. Now I understand Keine transforms during the night of the full moon. She has no control over that, as far as I'm aware anyway. Although I don't recall her having hooves before. To be fair, this is Gensokyo after all. Crazy shit happens. If a normal human can transform during the full moon, who's to say they can't have hooves? Zune? Well, he better make an announcement or else this is gonna stay.
Number 4.
Now this next picture caught me off by surprise because it's something I always knew but never put the two together. As if Alice's doll weren't tough enough, now she has to bring an immortal into this mix. Man, Imperishable would have been so much easier with Alice's new Moku doll. I gotta have a lot of explaining to do. So Moku drank the Horai elixir which made her immortal. She has the title Horai in Imperishable. The immortal has a spell card called Horai Doll. And if that wasn't enough for ya, Alice has a doll and spell cards named after Horai. Like holy fuck. I've always known that Alice and Moku dealt with Horai, but I never thought of putting the two together. I feel like an idiot for some reason, but credits to the artist for making this combo come true. An immortal doll. That's gotta be a step up from the autonomous dolls, wouldn't you say?
Number 3.
So as a kid, I'm sure you guys have seen The Lion King before. If you recall their iconic song, The Circle of Life, it was a pretty good song from what memory tells me. As I think about the song now, I highly doubt the other animals in the lower food chains thought of the song as fondly as we do. Let me show you why those animals might be hating on it. Although Rigo and Nazareth might be yokais, even they have to follow the food chain. Now I don't recall these goddesses in the food chain, but what do I know? I've never actually known what the diets consist of before, aside from faith. So yeah, it's possible Suko loves her insects and Kaneko loves her mouse. Those two better thank Sanae with their life, or else things could have ended very painfully for them.
Number 2.
For this next picture, I actually showed something similar to it in a past episode. Hell, it even featured the same character. The thing is, its craziness got even more elevated, and I didn't even think that was bloody possible. Leave it to the folks of Gensokyo to constantly impress me, or frighten, whichever is the best adjective for this. Wow, that is impressive. Now the previous picture is this, which had also Eirin shooting an arrow with her feet, but at the time she was using her foot and her arm to hold the bow. This time, on the other hand, or lack of in this case, she's using both foot to handle the bow and arrow. And if that feat, no pun intended, wasn't crazy enough, she's also balancing on a raisin's head. Like at this point, I get the feeling that once you've cured death, you'll get bored real fast. Or else why the fuck is Eirin capable of doing this shit? Just because she's a real genius? Not only that, just look at Raisin! She looks so uncomfortable you just can't help but feel her pain. The shit the rabbits gotta deal with.
Number 1.
Depending on the show, you may have the protagonist and antagonist really hating each other's guts. That's nothing new. What's also normal is that there's an even bigger threat at times that forces these two opposite sides to join together to combat this new enemy. That's when you know shit is gonna get real. And from the looks of this picture, things are gonna get really heated up.
Jan Ha!
You gotta remember these two are both immortals, so not much is gonna scare them. Not only that, these two have a rivalry that's unparalleled in Gensokyo. So if these two are doing the fusion stance, creating the new monster that is the Mokuya, then something is really going down in the lands. Like, one immortal didn't seem tough enough? Now we have a super immortal from the looks of it. I don't even want to know if their immortality got jacked up. I don't know how that would work, but at the same time, I wasn't where they knew the fusion stance. So you know what? Fuck it, let's just roll with it. The greatest immortal being right here. Done. Let's finish this episode. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. Which pictures were your favorite? Do you think Yuka's gonna destroy Tewi once she gets out of that trap? Do you think Alice wielding Moku as her doll is super terrifying? Or do you think Eirin one-upped herself? If you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe, or else Mokuya might knock at your doorsteps. At that point, best start writing your will. By the way, this is Magi, and thanks again for watching.